Good evening, class. Welcome to Foiling Curses, the 200 level, otherwise known as Curses Foiled Again. Now, this being our first class of the term, we're going to spend the entire class working on a single question, and that question is, where does the power of a curse reside? It is a question that is essential for the education of students of the occult and future psychic healers such as yourselves, because once we are armed with this knowledge, once we know this secret, then the construction, the crafting of the rituals required to subvert these curses becomes virtually child's play. Child's play. It reminds me of the day I learned this secret. It was many years ago, of course. I was a different kind of teacher then. I was a classroom teacher, elementary school, grade 5. It was a Friday afternoon. Yeah, I was involved in reading aloud from one of my favorite books to my students, trying to evoke an appreciation for quality literature. I was reading to them from Tolkien's The Hobbit. Now, there was still a few minutes left before dismissal, and so I asked if there were any questions. And as she often did, young Samantha put up her hand. Now, Sam, as her classmates called her, could be a bit of an annoying child, but she was also a very gifted student, so I was very pleased to see her hand go up. She said, "Mr. T, would you say that the ring is cursed?" "Why, yes, Samantha. It's an excellent way of looking at it. We could definitely say that that ring is a cursed object." "But I don't get it, Mr. T. All it does is make you invisible. What's the big deal?" A hypothesis occurred to me at that instant. One I decided to test then and there. I had each of the students take out a fresh piece of paper and their pencils. I made sure that they understood they were not to put their names on these papers. They were to remain anonymous, as if they were turning invisible or going on the internet. Their assignment, you see, was to write one clear sentence explaining what they would do if they found the ring. I collected the papers, dismissed the students, took the papers home along with the rest of my marking for the weekend. And when I finally got around to reading them, the first one surprised me so much, I laughed out loud. It said, "I would sneak into the girls' bathroom." There was no more laughing after that. Another said, "Whenever I needed money, I would take it from my mom's purse." Another said, "I would climb to the top of the monkey bars at recess and I would push Sam off because I don't like her." Ladies and gentlemen, there wasn't a single heroic fantasy among them. My hypothesis had been proven correct. Even though that ring did not even exist, the very idea of possessing that cursed object was corrupting their thoughts. So, where does the power of a curse like this reside? It resides within the minds and the imaginations of the victims themselves. So how do we use this power against it? A curse so powerful it can turn the thoughts of the victims against themselves without them even being aware of it. Well, we need a very powerful ritual to counter this. And that's why you are in this class and not your neighbors. You are the gifted ones. You see, even though the manifestation of this curse appears to work within the realm of the mundane, the countering of these curses requires supernatural intervention, as we are about to see. I will conduct 2 demonstration rituals under very controlled conditions. The first will serve to cast this very curse into the minds of 3 among you. The second ritual will serve to demonstrate how we can pull a powerful antidote against this curse right from within the victims themselves. But first, let's do the fun stuff. Let's curse somebody. Joe, would you kindly stand up, please? There are 4 envelopes here. Would you please pick them up and hold them behind your back? It is essential, for the purpose of this ritual, that no one be aware of who takes which envelope. It is essential, otherwise we will not be able to conduct the second ritual successfully. Give them a mix, and while they're behind your back, slip one into your back pocket, please, Joe. Good. Keep them in a stack, place them exactly back where you found them.
3 of them.
3 of them, yes. Joe, would you now please come and stand right here behind the table? Thank you. Mark, my friend, I'd love to curse you. Would you please remove the 3
Oh, you just talk.
3 envelopes?
All 3 of them?
Yeah, all 3. Stand up, put them behind your back, give them a mix, slip one into your back pocket. Replace the remaining 2. Thank you very much. And your space, Joe, would you move over? Your space is right here. Now I need one more victim. Steve, would you consent?
Yes.
Thank you. Just take one of the remaining 2 envelopes and take the 3rd spot over here. Now, would you kindly turn, volunteers, would you turn away from the class, remove the contents of the envelopes? You may drop the envelopes on the floor. They are no longer required. And read what is printed on the cards. Printed on these cards, ladies and gentlemen, each one has a separate word, a different word. Now, these words were very carefully chosen. They were chosen to stimulate thoughts, memories, perhaps. Allow those memories to come to your mind. Do not show the class. You've got your card palmed there. You're showing the class. Please do not show the class. Perhaps images may come to mind. You may see yourselves in these images. These images, words were chosen to produce kind, gentle, pleasant, or at least benign thoughts. And only they know what those thoughts are, which is essential for a second ritual. Hold the cards against your chest, gentlemen. Turn around and face the class. In front of you on the table is a wooden token. On the token is printed a very powerful symbol of corruption. In a moment, you will pick up the sigil, pick up the token, and observe the sigil. I will give you a hint. The sigil lies vertically, not horizontally, so that you can recognize it instantly. Go ahead and do that now. Once you have seen that, you may replace the tokens, pick up the pens, turn around and face away from the class again. On the cards, you will notice a space in front of the words printed there. You will use that space to draw a rough outline of that sigil. It will become part of the word. You will then reread that word, allowing, and your thoughts will begin to change. New thoughts will be summoned. Dark thoughts will be summoned. Simply by the use of that symbol. Cards against your chest again, gentlemen. Turn around, replace the pens. Your thoughts have gone dark. So, we can now invoke our second ritual, which is to pull a powerful antidote against this curse. What is that antidote, and how do we do it? Well, they have secret thoughts. You see, the most powerful antidote against the corruptive curse is humility. We're going to humiliate them. Symbolically. You each possess secret thoughts. So our ritual, the purpose of this ritual will be to literally allow me to read your minds out loud to your peers, thereby invoking humility within you. If you don't have a humble bone in your body, you're screwed. Now, yours began as something very, very pleasant, warm, loving, giving, and then suddenly when the shift happened, your thoughts became focused around a struggle for breath itself. Is that correct?
That's true.
Yes. Mark, yours began not quite so profound, but also very warm. You yourself, you were very comfortable with this notion, but then it became something he's also kind of comfortable with. It became focused around frightening people, didn't it? Okay, I thought so. Okay, yours, Steve, I'm so sorry that you ended up with this one. Very profound. It began as joyful. Perhaps children playing, is that correct?
Yeah.
And then when the shift happened, it became all about blood and death and violence, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, yours began with mother and became smothered. Yours began as caring and became scaring. Yours began as laughter and became slaughter. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Your secrets have been revealed, the curse is cancelled, you may place the cards down or keep them as souvenirs and return to your chairs. Thank you very much. We have seen one application of this vital piece of information. Where does the power of the curse reside? Let's take another tack now. It follows that if the power of the curse resides within the minds of the victims themselves, the curse has to get to the mind in order to take root. So if we as psychic healers can use our abilities to discover where or who has a cursed object before they become aware of it, well then, we can terminate the curse before it even begins. Does that make sense? Yes, so let's do that. Joseph,
yes.
Would you kindly stand behind the table?
Certainly.
And how about you, young lady? Would you please stand here? Right in the middle. And we need one more victim. How about you? Charlie. Thank you. Please stand here, student Charlie. Now, there are 3 tokens, wooden tokens on the box. They resemble this token. This one is neutral on both sides. One of these tokens possesses the cursed symbol. That will represent our cursed object. Each of you will pick up one of the tokens under my direction. It is essential that you touch only one token. It is also essential that you keep the token closed in your hand and do not peek. If you become aware that you possess the cursed object before I can find it, well then, we'll have to humiliate you again. Okay, so one at a time. Joseph, would you kindly pick up one of the tokens, and only one, keep it closed in your hand. It is essential that you keep it closed unless I give you specific directions to open your hand. Have you made your choice?
I have.
Do you have the token?
I do.
Good. Keep it closed. Our second volunteer, would you now pick up one of the 2 remaining tokens, please? Keep it closed in your hand. Do you have it?
Yes.
Good. And would you please take the last token, whatever it is, hold it closed in your hand. Keep the same order, and please come and stand in front of the table. Now, how do we discover this? We use 2 basic techniques. First of all, when we find the cursed object, we have only neutralized the curse. We have not rendered it harmless. To do that, we must summon from within the victim themselves a very powerful symbol. You may choose the symbol as the healer. I like Algis, the Nordic symbol of protection. But it must be pulled supernaturally from within the body of the potential victim themselves. We shall see. Now, we need a tool of divination in order to find where the cursed object is. For this ritual, I choose a very simple tool, the humble pendulum. Would you please close your eyes? It is essential that you not see how the pendulum responds to you. Joseph, keeping your hand closed, turn your fist so that the palm is up. I am now. Watch and observe how the pendulum responds. You may lower your hand, Joseph. And Tiffany, turn your hand palm up, keeping your hand closed. Observing. Charlie? You may open your eyes now. Now, if I have done the ritual correctly, Charlie and Joseph, you may open your hands and look at your tokens. You're doomed. I missed it. You are absolutely doomed. You two may replace your token and take your seats. We must struggle. Oh, here it is. We must now struggle against time to save your soul. Please close your hand again, turn your hand over. In order for this to work, you must have the spirit of a warrior, so that we may call from within you all geese. It must emerge from deep within you. I summon you, all geese. Look, 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 look. Do you see it?
I do.
Yes. Excellent. Show the class the symbol that emerged from within him. You are saved, my friend. You may replace the token and take your seat. That was close. You may take your seat. Yes. So that will remain there forever now. or until you wash your hands. Now, so we have, in this first class, we have seen where the power of the curse actually resides and looked at two ways to combat this curse that is permeating the land. I'm speaking of Canada, of course. We can find the curse before they know it and seal the curse, or we can evoke humility from within the victim, thereby canceling the curse that way. So this has been the first class of 88 in the term. Only 87 more to go before we graduate, and between now and our next class, your homework is to read chapter 3 of the 13 steps. Thank you very much.